Hello everybody, welcome back. As requested by several people who frequent my videos, today I'm going to compare two outstanding cartridges, the 30-06 Springfield and the 308 Winchester. But more than just compare, probably a better word is contrast. What's the contrast between the rifles and the ammunition combination? So come back in a minute, folks. Let's get to explaining these differences and let's get to shooting to compare on target. See you in a while. Okay, as you can see, the rifle on your left is my 30-06, great rifle, and was the modern sporting arm of its time back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now since then, through technology, different platforms, different rifles, different chambers and ammunition was developed, and we came up with things like what's on the 308 on the right, which is a modern chassis system made out of aluminum with aluminum bedding to try to customize and improve the accuracy of this rifle for a specific purpose, not necessarily for hunting, but maybe more for competition. Even scopes have changed, so you can see there is radically different scopes on these these rifles. So over here is the ammunition difference. You can see on the left there the size of the 30-06 case compared to the 308 case. About 28% more powder capacity for the 30-06 over the 308, but surprisingly, because of the efficiency of the 308, the actual velocity is not that much different with comparable bullets. But we're going to show that today because that's the only thing that these two rifles and ammunition combinations have in common, is they're both going to be shooting 30 caliber bullets, 150 grain SST, and we're going to test those on the target in a minute. But you know, today's technology compared to yesterday's technology with detachable box magazines, you know, they really can't compare. But let's see how they shoot. Okay, you can see that modern technology has completely re-engineered rifles to be modified to whatever shooter's needs is, whether it be hunting or competition or just going out and shooting for accuracy and punching holes through targets, whatever your recreation is. Now this is my Savage FCP, my Savage 10 FCP, made in about 2010. So it's got things like a fluted barrel, it has a muzzle device on it, obviously it has a very high powered scope on it. This is a 6-24 Monstrum Tactical. It's quite long, quite heavy, but gives you a real good sight picture to shoot from. You have a chassis system which is completely customizable for length of pull, for comb height, so that it can more mirror what your needs are. It also has a detachable box magazine, something that wasn't really avant-garde back in the 60s and 70s. So let's go ahead and shoot this. I'm going to be shooting 150 grain SST. It'll have 10 grains exactly less powder than the 30-06. That's 28%. It'll also have about a 16 to 17 pounds recoil, which is also about 28% less than the 30-06. But surprisingly, there's only, for 150 grain SST, and the way I have it set up, there's only 75 feet per second difference between this and my 30-06. So let's go ahead and turn on the target down there. I'm just going to shoot 3 shots and then compare it with the 30-06 coming up. Not really a comparison, more of a contrast. All right, let's get going. Okay, cold bore, clean bore. Let's go ahead and shoot. I'm just going to shoot 3 shots. Here we go. Again, these are supposedly traveling according to the numbers on my box, just right at 2,900, a little bit over. Okay, looks to be about a 3/4 inch, maybe 1 inch group. All right, so now let's switch over to the 30-06. Okay, up on the bench right now, if you've been kind of watching my last few videos, this is my Sears Model 53 chambered in 30-06. It is a Ted Williams Deluxe made in 1978. As you can see by the conformation of this rifle, it was completely designed for the period, which was a hunting rifle, field rifle only. There's no adjustability to it at all. It's fixed into the stock. Whatever the stock conformation is what you've got. You can see it only has a 3x9 hunting type Bosch & Lomb scope that was also of a period around 30 years ago, so it's not really designed for long-range shooting or target shooting. It's designed to take in the field and go take your animal. The older metallurgy on and chambering on these old Model 70, Winchester Model 70 type rifles, was only supposed to be right around MOA if you did your part. Okay, so that's all we're going to do. This is a contrast, a stark contrast between this and the 308 that I just showed you that was completely customizable. This rifle also doesn't have a muzzle brake on it. So the recoil that I'm going to feel back into my shoulder is going to be the full force based upon the ammunition that I'm using. Again, I'm going to be shooting the 150 grain SST 30 caliber, which is the only thing that these two rifles have in common. Okay, let me go turn on the camera. Let's get to shooting. Okay, it's 150 grain SST according to what's on the box. Should be traveling right out, according to what I have on here, just right at 3,000 feet per second, 2999. Okay, that's 75 feet per second faster than the 308. But again, there is another contrast or inconsistency, and that's the shooter, which I always believe is 51% of the equation, because this rifle is configured different, sits different into my shoulder. My head, my eye scope alignment is different. Target alignment is different. So if there's an inconsistency in shot dispersion, keep in mind 51% is on me. All right, first shot. Try a little different position on this baby from that shot. There we go. Well, let's see how this third shot goes. Hey, looks like I kind of jerked the trigger on that. Alright, so let's go analyze the target and go over the contrast, not the similarities. Be back in a moment. Okay, folks, a wonderful contrast, two wonderful cartridges that share the same caliber of .308, and you can see here by my target the two groups are virtually the same, so that gets back probably to the 51% of shooter error than it really does for the cartridge. But the .308, I'm using CFE powder, 47 grains with 150 grain SST. For the 30-06, which is up here, I'm using 57.5 of Winchester 760. So even the propellants have different burn rates that are more advantageous to each cartridge. So there you go, folks. That's the contrast between my two rifles, old school and new school. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. But no matter what, see y'all next time. God bless y'all. Goodbye.